Welcome all of you to Computer Programming with Sharon. Today we will discuss about the exception handling. While working with the program, either in runtime or compile time, we can see different types of errors are coming over there. Compile time error is easy to handle because output will show in command prompt, or at the compile time it will show those errors over there. But runtime error, it's difficulty to find out because we don't know like what will be the value is given by a user. From the user end we may get different types of inputs over there. That time it depends on the input, the program may be corrupt and it will break in between, terminate in between. So those things we can avoid by using the exception handling. If you're seeing the picture here, exceptions are divided into two types. User defined exception, that means the programmer can guess like user may create these type of error, and in that situation how to give the error message or how to warn the user not to use that. Those things can be handled by user defined exception. And again, in Java already some built-in exceptions are there. The common exceptions which is coming inside the program, that is already defined over there. N number of exceptions are there, and those exceptions are categorized into checked exception and unchecked exception. Unchecked exception is also known as runtime exception. In checked exception, if a method is qualified with or signed with a checked exception, that time if you want to use or if you want to call that exception without handling, it's not possible to compile it. For exception handling we have three blocks are given over there: try, catch and finally. Normally if a statement may create error, if you know that time you can put those statements inside the try block. So checked exception creating methods should be placed inside the try block to compile that. And in catch, if that exception happened, then what to do? The handling can be right inside the catch block. And finally is an optional part. If error is coming or not coming, both the time finally will work. Normally finally blocks are using to release the resources. Means if you are opening a file for file writing or file reading, or if you are opening some database, then that time you should release those resources. Those things we can done inside the finally. Clauses, throw and throws, two clauses are given over there. If user is trying to create an error or exception, that time we will use the throw. Means user is throwing a exception depend on the situation. Throws actually will give a warning message, or it's giving a signature to the method that this method may create some exception, so the user can handle that. If a user is calling that method, he will get that message like a checked exception. So without handling that, it's not possible to compile the program. We may write try catch block or try catch finally combinations, try with multiple catch. So with the examples we will see all these. In first example we will go with the unchecked exception, which is not compulsory to handle for compilation, because compiling time that will not be noted. So those are runtime exceptions. We will move to the example. So we are coming to the program. First we will go with the unchecked exception. As I said, here I will use the command line argument concept instead of scanner and all, so that I can create more exceptions here. So first an integer value trying to read from the console. So it's a string value we need to convert. So first argument is converted over there, and second argument into B, and the answer we are trying to divide these numbers, and the answer is saving inside the C, and I'll just print that value also. The result equals C value. So if you're running with proper values, this will run. So there is no error we can see over here. But just imagine if we are not providing the arguments. So that time this line will generate error. And of course it will not continue to the next line. And if the second argument is not given, of course this is going to be generate error. So these two statements may create some errors over there. And if you are trying to pass some strings or non-integer values to here, that time also number conversion error will be there. And if you are giving proper a and b value, but the b value is c 0, if your second value is 0, then this line may create error, divide by 0. So if in any case, if it's creating any error, that time the program will show error message and will terminate the program. It will not reach to till the last line. Okay, so first I'll just compile this program. For compiling, we will just go to the terminal. We have to give the javac command and we'll give the example.java. So there is no compilation error. That means it's not checked exception. This is unchecked exception. If it is a checked exception, this time itself it should show the error. Now I am running the program with correct values. So first number space second number. It's printing correctly. Now if I am not passing any values over there, arguments over there, then it's creating error, right? It's creating the error in third line itself because the argument is not found. If I am trying to pass a non-integer value or a letter, then that time again it's in the third line and it's not possible to convert that one. You can see that the exception name number format exception is creating over there. And again, if you are just passing only single number, then second line, that means like this is a fourth line, second argument, it's not there, so that is creating error over there. It's array index out of bound exception. And if second number is 0, error is in fifth line, arithmetic exception, divide by 0, it's creating over there. So the program is terminating in between without giving any message over there. Okay, so if you want to avoid that situation, if you want to give a customized message over there, or if you want to handle this type of exception, you can give it the try catch block. Inside the try, we should write the statement which may create error. So all these three statements may generate error. And here we are accessing the C, so it's not possible to write outside the block. So that also I'm putting inside the try block itself. And we have to write the catch inside. If you know the exception name, you can write that. Otherwise, just give exception, which is the super class of all. Now here, if you want to give some custom message, you can give over here like error, like something like that you can write over there. Now, if you want to check whether it is working till the last line, you can put some message over there, say finished. Now I will compile and run this program. So first compiling this program, there is no error. Now running with some errors. So it's not printing that system message, it's giving the custom message over there. You can write anything over there, and it's printing the finished also. That means till the last line it's working. And if you're creating any type of error like number format exception, again you are getting the same message only. Now if you want to write the finally block, that also you can write, but here there is no use because we don't need to release any resource. But how to use it, that I'm showing. So finally block I'm writing over here, compiling the program first, then running with some error, right? The finally block is working now without error. Again finally is working over there. Catch block is not working because there is no error. So like that you can write the finally there. And if you want to give some different messages for the error, we can use the multiple catch block over there. Before that, I want to identify the error message which it is creating over there. I'll just print the E along with this customized message. Compiling and running the program. First I'm trying to find out the without argument. So it's array index out of bound exception. So if you want to give some custom message, of course we can go with the multiple catch, but I just want to show different exceptions creating over there. Say number format exception and arithmetic exception. So these are the exceptions creating over there. So if you know which type of exception is going to create over there, you can customize it using multiple catch. So first I seen like array index out of bound exception was there. So I will write that one. And instead of printing this message, we will write the usage, because if the usage is wrong, then it's going to show that error. How to use that or how to run that program? Java example space first argument, then second argument, like that we have to run. So if this error is generating, then that time this will be the message. Now again I'll go with the number format exception. That time if you are not giving some integer value, so here I'm writing only integers are allowed, like this I'm giving the message. Then one more message we seen over there, that is arithmetic exception. If the second value is 0, then so second argument shouldn't be 0. So like that I'm giving. And if any other exception is coming, then that can be handled with this. So this is an optional part. If you know like there is no other exception is going to create, then you can avoid this. And finally it's also optional part. If you want, you can write over there. I'm just deleting this one. Okay, now we'll compile and run. Before that, one more thing you have to remember. If you are writing this exception, it should be the last one, because if you are writing this before these catch blocks, then other catch blocks will not going to work, because this will handle by all the other exceptions, because it's the parent one. This can handle all these errors. So compile time you will get the error. It's not possible to write over there. For example, if I'm writing this one here, this is already handled before, so you can't write like this one. Now we will compile and run. First error I'm trying to create arguments. So usage is showing over there, Java example arg1 arg2 you have to pass. Okay, I'll just remove this line also, I don't want. Compiling again. Now trying to give some non-integer value over there. So only integers are allowed. Number format exception is detecting over there. Second number 0, arithmetic exception. So we can customize like this, and if it is correct, we will get the answer also there. So I think how to write the try catch block or how to work with the unchecked exception, now it's familiar for you. Now I will try some unchecked exception which will not allow to compile without handling. So we have built-in class called class. It's C is capital letter, you have to remember. This is small letter. This class, it's a keyword, and this is a class name. This contain a method called name. Inside this one, you can pass a class name as a string, and it will dictate whether that class is there or not, and will return a skeleton over there. So that skeleton I am saving inside a C, it's C1. Now, if you are trying to compile this one, this is going to create error. I'll just show saving this one, terminal, new terminal. Of course, it's a editor, it's already detecting, like you have to handle this class not found exception. Anyway, I'll try to compile and show that. Java C example dot Java. Now see this one, the line, this one is showing some error, third line, right? You have to handle this one. So without try catch block, it's not possible to write over there. Or you can have one more option is there, you can just give this throws exception. So that means like it's possible to call that one, but if an error is coming, then it's not possible to handle it. Anyway, I'll just compile again. Now compiling is okay. Now we'll try to run this. It's generating error, something error. Class not found exception is generated over there, and it's showing its own message. It's not properly handled. So first I will just handle this one, then we'll check what is the actual message. So instead of throws exception, we will use the try catch. So if you are placing your cursor over here, you can find out like it's showing the view problem option over there. So you will use the try catch block over there. And if you are not familiar with the exception, you can just write base class, or you can directly write class not found exception. So I'm just printing error, and we'll try to print the e value also, so that we can find out that error message over there. Again, compiling this one and running. So we are getting a simple message, class not found exception string. String is not visible over there. String class is there, existing there, right? But this string class or system or integer, whatever the classes we are directly normally using over there without an import statement, is coming from the java.lang package. So if you want to use that class, it's okay. But inside the for name, if you want to pass, you have to give the full path over there. So java.lang package by default, it's importing inside your program. But if you want to generate skeleton using for name, you have to give the complete package over there. So this is the right way. Java.lang string you have to give over there. Now again we will compile and run the program. Now you can see there is no error because the class is there. And from the skeleton, here I want to print the string class methods over there. So we have a method called c1.getMethods, and this will give a array of methods. You can see this one. You will get an array of methods over there. So we can iterate one by method and can show the name over there. Here method is a class name. Okay. So using a for loop, I will try to iterate. So we are getting method object over there, which is from reflect package. Reflect package is commonly using inside the Java editors to find out the structure of a class so that it can show the hints or suggestions over there. That's why if you're writing anything over there, we are getting the suggestions. Okay, now c1 dot get methods. I'm rightly giving over here. Now m contain one by one method that I will try to print over here. The method name we will try to print. So m dot get name I am using over there. Now we'll compile and run it. See, so many different methods are there inside the string class, right? Equals length to string compared to caret, last index, uppercase, lowercase. So many classes are there. So it's all printing over there. So I think now it's cleared. So I think it's clear now how the checked exception show the behavior. How to identify the checked exception. It will not allow to compile even. So that's one. Now we'll try to create our own exceptions. User defined exceptions over there. For that, I'll create a class here. Class calculate. Inside that, I want to write a method which will create exception if it is detecting a negative number. I don't want to return any value, so void will give the name as is negative. We'll pass a number inside that one, and we will cross check whether n is negative value or not. If n is negative, then using the throw clause, we have to throw an object of exception class. So exception class you can create like exception e equal to new exception, like that you can create, but we don't want to reuse that object, so I will use the anonymous object concept over there. Now this is like here we are trying to throw some exception, so it should be handled. So it can be handled using the try catch block. If you're handling this with try catch block, then it's a unchecked exception. That means in runtime only it will check, compilation will allow over there. Here we are already handling this try catch, so now this will act as a unchecked or runtime exception. Okay, we'll just put the message here, error, with that e also will try to print. Okay, now if there is no error, I want to print some message. So here I will write accepted n value, something like this I want to print over here. But one problem is there. If it's creating exception after printing this error message, then also this will accept will print over there. So if exception is detecting over there, I don't want to print this message. For that, I'll create a boolean variable over here to handle those. Boolean is error. So you can just generate any variable over there and saying that there is no error. Normally, if it is detecting some error, then we will change this as true. Now, if it is true, we don't need to print this accepted message. So if not is error, then print this message accepted. Okay, now we'll call this is negative. First I'll just create an object of calculate, c equal to new calculate, then c dot is negative calling with some non-negative value. So it should not create any error over there. We'll try some negative value also. Here you have to remember, if it is not a negative number, then only the message should be printed. So this if block should be here itself. Now we'll compile and run this program. Here it's accepting 5, but the second number 15, it's showing exception, error. This one is working over there. And If user is trying to create his own error, better not to write this unchecked type. He should go with the checked type, so that calling side, from calling side, the user should call, means whoever using that method should handle that. So that means I'm avoiding this try catch. Okay, so that time we don't need this boolean checking, but you have to write the throws clause. So this time this the signature is changed, so this will give a warning message to the calling side. That means without handling we can't call it, so it's a checked type. So if you are compiling also unreported exception, so it's not possible to call. Even you are giving a correct number also, it's not possible to call. So we have to handle with the try catch block. So this is an example for checked exception or user defined checked exception. I'll just print the E only. Okay. Now I can do the compilation because we already handled that. Now run the program. Here accepted 5 and E is printing the class name. I think this much is clear for you. Now instead of throwing the built-in class exception, if you want to create your own exception class, that is easy. Just create a class, for example my exe. Then this class should extend its superclass exception. Now instead of throwing existing class, you can throw your own class over there. So I'm just replacing all this with that. And here also, if you know the name, you can directly give that one or give the exception. First you have to compile the program. Now try to run this. So here it's showing accepted 5, right? And it's showing the myexe class name instead of that exception. So by default, if you are trying to print an object of a class, that time it will try to print the name of that class. Instead of that one, if you want to customize, you can override toString method from the object class. So in this class, I will try that toString. You have to remember, this is not a method of exception class. This is from the object class itself. And here in toString, you can write your own string over there, like negative not allowed, something like that. You can customize that message. So instead of the myexe, that class name, it should print now this. So again compiling, running this. Here see, accepted 5, it's correct. Instead of myexe, it is negative not allowed over there. That is printing over there. See the program. Here toString is overridden and we are throwing the user defined exception, and that is handling. We are just printing the object only, but it's printing that customized message. Along with this customized message, if you want to print your own values also, means this value if you want to pass to there, then take the help of constructor and use local variables over there. So using constructor, with the help of constructor, we can pass the values over there. So I'll just write a constructor here, and inside this will pass the value, and this value I have to print over here. So without any class members, it's not possible. So I'll just generate a private variable over there. We don't want to share with other classes, so private is okay. This dot x equal to x, right? Now while creating the object itself, this x will be updated. That value we can print in a customized way. So here I'm printing that number is negative and it's not allowed over there. Here now the default constructor is not there, so we have to pass the value. Taking the terminal again, or just run from here itself, it's okay. Here accepted 5, okay, 5 is negative and not allowed. Just give a space here. So see the entire program. Using constructor, we are passing that value, and that value we are saving inside a member variable, and that member variable is printing from the toString. This is overridden method, so signature we can't change. That's why we are using the constructor concept to pass the value. See this example. I think how to create user defined exception is clear for you now. So I think it's clear for you how to create a user defined class. User can create checked exception or unchecked exception. If you like the class, please subscribe, press on like, share with your friends. If you have any doubt, please write as comment. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.